Welcome back to the channel. Today, of course, we're sat here and yes, we're going to be talking about Wrexham AFC transfer news. We're coming towards the end of the transfer window. Things are heating up a bit in terms of possible signings at Wrexham Football Club. And I do apologise if there's been no videos out for the past 3 or 4 days. I haven't been very well for the past 2 or 3, so I'm making a recovery and we're back talking about some very, very interesting transfer news. But before we get going in today's video, if you're looking for all the best Wrexham AFC content, this is the place to be. Make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button if you haven't already. We're on the road to 26,000 subscribers. If you do see down below that you haven't clicked that subscribe button, then please consider doing so. Let's go for 350 likes on today's video, and without further ado, let's get talking for about the millionth time this transfer window. Wrexham transfer news. Starting off with a player called Ryan Longman. Now, if you cast your minds back 6-7 months, you might remember I talked about this man in a transfer video when Wrexham were interested in signing him. Fast forward to the transfer window in January. According to the Telegraph, Wrexham are set to hijack Oxford United's move for Hull City wing Ryan Longman for a reported fee of £500,000. And like I've just said, Longman is a player that Parky was interested in signing in the summer transfer window. We didn't pull that transfer off because the Hull City manager at the time wanted to keep Longman and he was part of their plans. Fast forward to January, that manager has been sacked and Longman is now available for transfer. Oxford United were leading the race and had a medical booked in for Tuesday to sign Ryan Longman. But as things stand, manager Gary Rowett has come out and said yesterday after their win against Luton Town, he does not expect Ryan Longman to sign for Oxford United after Wrexham came in to hijack the deal. So giving a bit of a profile now on Ryan Longman, of course, he's a 24-year-old winger who can play on either side of the wing, left or right. He's only had 4 full seasons in his career, playing for the likes of AFC Wimbledon with Ollie Palmer. He was at Millwall on loan and he was obviously at Hull City where he's currently contracted at. And, you know, despite him only being 24 years old and having only 4 seasons under his belt, he's made over 170 appearances across League One and the Championship. So I think what we can gather that is he's got 4 seasons under his belt and he's played so many games across 4 seasons, 35 plus in each season. So I think his age and experience don't really go hand in hand in this. Of course, he's 24, but he's so experienced when it comes to playing in the higher leagues of the EFL. And, you know, of course, like I said, he's currently contracted at Hull City where he's registered 12 goals and assists in his time at the club, proving to be a regular in the starting 11. Last season, like I said, he was out of favour at Hull City, so he made the loan switch for the whole season to Millwall under Gary Rowett, who was their manager at the time. And I think he had a really successful spell. You know, the fans were quite keen on him. The manager, of course, was keen on him and likes him as a player. So this is where the story gets a bit interesting. Of course, Gary Rowett signed him for Millwall, wanted to sign him for Oxford United. Of course, I've got on my notes down here, could that give them advantage in signing Ryan Longman at Oxford United? But money talks, and obviously Wrexham is such an ambitious project at the minute. Parky has hopefully done his wonders, Rob and Ryan have hopefully done it. And why are Wrexham Football Club going out to sign a winger in Ryan Longman? Now, I think Parky could possibly see Longman in playing 2 roles for Wrexham Football Club, in the wing-back role or even in that advanced attacking midfield role. He's played up front for Millwall, I believe, in the past. He's played in that attacking advanced midfield role for Hull City and Millwall, and you know, I think with Wrexham, of course, we signed Ryan Barnett, who was a winger. We signed James McLean, who was a winger. You know, we've brought these players in and pushed them back into that wing-back role, and they haven't had an issue with that at all. So that's probably the logical thing to do in terms of this situation, because we've seen Ryan Longman. He loves playing on that left-hand side, cutting inside on his right foot. So if we could get him in, it would no doubtedly be probably a left wing-back slot for Ryan Longman. And like I said, with Longman playing on that wing for his whole career, I think Parky will want to maximise his attributes, of course, with his speed, his dribbling, taking on his man, cutting inside. All of those attributes will not really be any different from playing left winger to left wing backs, and in comparison to possibly playing in centre attacking midfield away, might not be able to run at his man so much, or, you know, put those crosses into the box. So I think, you know, it is screaming of him playing at left wing back or right wing back when he does sign. Yeah, and I always do this when we are linked with a player. I look at the club that he's possibly signing from, what their fans have to say on it, and having read some of the Hull City fans, they're all saying, like I said, he loves to play on the left-hand side, likes to cut inside on his right. But they've also said at Hull City in the past couple of seasons, his confidence has been knocked, hence why he obviously went on loan to Millwall and hasn't really been playing too much and hasn't been playing to the best of his ability. So I think this does bring the question, a player that's possibly got knocked confidence, he needs that fresh start, and I think he would get that at Wrexham Football Club. I think anyone, you know, in the EFL that has, you know, a bit of a confidence knock at a club could come to Wrexham, their confidence would be totally regained. So I have no issue and have no problem in thinking that Ryan Longman would regain his confidence and his form at Wrexham Football Club. Would he come in and be a guaranteed starter? That is the question. At this moment in time, I cannot see Longman coming straight into the lineup and taking James McLean or Ryan Barnett's spot. I think it would be great competition for Maka down that left-hand side. Of course, two very good players and two slightly different players in a way, because James McLean loves to bomb it down the line, put in that left-hand cross. But if you're mixing things up, bringing Ryan Longman in, of course, who's a right-footed left wing-back, you're going to get him running, cutting inside, possibly just adding something new. And like I said, competition at this stage of the season is massive. And then I think as well, if you're looking, if he is to play in that left wing-back spot, what does this mean for Seb Revan and Jacob Mendy? Could it mean they could possibly go out on loan towards the end of the transfer window? There's definitely a chance. Of course, deals can be done any time across the window. You know, a player could be on the bench 1 week for Wrexham and the next week they're loaned out. You never know what's going to happen, and that's the magic of the January transfer window. So I think there's a chance we could see one of those, you know, possibly go on loan. I'm favouring more Mendy because I think Revan, of course, just come in the summer. I think that's one for you to decide in the comment section down below. It's not very promising when you're reading Hull City fans as well saying he couldn't cross a road, let alone cross a ball. Time will tell on that front. Time will tell, and you know, maybe you would exceed more in a more demanding environment and a more pressured environment at Wrexham Football Club, where you know he's probably going to get a lot more game time than he was at Hull City. So you know, with Parky in these situations, we trust him massively, and you know, like I said, he has my full trust whenever he does go out and sign a player. But I've got my notes down here. It's a question: who would Hull want to sell him to? A possible relegation rival or a team in the league below? It looks as if Ryan Longman is set to make the move down to North Wales from Hull City, so yeah, it could be a massive signing, and hopefully I can be talking about a done deal very, very soon. Moving on to the next bit of news, Michael Smith. Now, finally, we might have some clarity on this situation regarding Michael Smith and possibly making the move to Wrexham Football Club. Smith was left out of the Sheffield Wednesday squad versus Leeds United in a big game, despite reports saying he was fully fit. Danny Roll, the manager, spoke on the situation, saying, "What is important is that Michael and I know the situation, and this is enough." What does he mean by that? We really don't know. Does he mean he could possibly be staying on at the club, or does he mean, you know, Michael Smith, his time is up at Wednesday and he's on the move? We really don't know on that front. He's not really given any clues away regarding what Smith could be doing in the future in the January transfer window. So you look at this further and think it's a big game. Leeds v Sheffield Wednesday. It's a Yorkshire derby. Even if Smith wasn't fit, you'd have at least expected him to be in attendance. I think someone took a picture of him on Twitter. He was in a play place with his child. Of course, family comes first in every situation, but you think in a situation like this, even if he wasn't fit, you'd think he might have been in attendance because it's a big game for Wednesday. But yeah, I think that could possibly give us a bit of an indication as to what is happening. And of course, that's a good thing for Wrexham Football Club. We want to see Michael Smith sign for us. But yeah, the plot thickens in our hunt for a striker. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think Wrexham will go out and sign Michael Smith? We're finally sort of, like I said, getting some clarification on his situation at Sheffield Wednesday. So let's hope we can get this across the line. Likewise with Ryan Longman. Talking on some departures now, starting with John Daddy Bodvarsson. Now, it doesn't really come to a surprise to see Bodvarsson leave Wrexham Football Club to sign for fellow League One strugglers Burton Albion. Bodvarsson, of course, like I said, he only featured in 186 minutes of football across all competitions in a Wrexham shirt. We brought him in to just add depth and, you know, sort of competition up front, and he did exactly that. He came in, but he just didn't get the minutes he probably would have wanted in a Wrexham shirt, and, you know, for his sake, he needed to go out and get regular football. And, you know, he's gone to Burton Albion, and he's even scored last night. I was watching the Burton v Wigan game, and Bodvarsson did get that rebound goal, so it's good to see him scoring goals there. We wish the best of luck to Bodvarsson. He came in, you know, having had that good season at Bolton Wanderers, and I thought he was going to come in and possibly score a few goals for us, but it just didn't really work out in the end, so we wish the best of luck to him at Burton Albion. Billy Waters. Now, Waters had his contract terminated at Wrexham Football Club last week to pursue a new opportunity at National League side Oldham Athletic. An interesting move, because I can't see Waters going to Oldham and, you know, being on a nailed-on starter like he was at Halifax Town. And yeah, it wasn't really a great debut for Waters. He came off the bench and did actually miss a penalty, but like Bodvarsson, we wish him the best of luck. It didn't work out for him at Wrexham, like Bodvarsson as well. And it's also a shame we didn't get a fee for Billy Waters like some fans expected. Moving on now, finally, we're going to be given a loan watch, starting with Jordan Davis. He's one of our own. Now, since the last loan watch, Davis has gone on to play 2 full 90 minutes for Grimsby Town against Bradford City and Chesterfield. He did get on the score sheet last weekend against Chesterfield, so it's great to see the Coydy assassin back in action. I think that's 5 goals and assists now in a Grimsby shirt for Jordan Davies, so he's really doing well, and he's done well to get back from that injury. He did sustain that long-term one away in Notts County, so it's good to see him back, and it's good to see, more importantly, scoring goals and just enjoying himself. And I think if he does continue this form, it will leave Parky with a tough decision to make come the summer. But for now, it's good to see Davies, back playing regular football and back scoring goals. Sam Dalby, I don't know how many times this January I have talked about this man. Now the question still lingers as to whether Sam Dalby remains at Dundee United or whether he comes back to Wrexham Football Club. Dalby had a goal chalked off in the Dundee derby in the Scottish Cup the other night. Like I said, I think that's 10 goals and 20 games in the league for Sam Dalby. So, he's playing with so much confidence. He's being provided really good service, and I think, that's what he did need, that fresh start away up in Scotland, and somewhere where he's going to go and lead the line really well, get his confidence back. And I think this sort of does, indicate what Dalby needs to score goals as a striker. He scored so many goals with pinpoint crosses. You think with Barnett and McLean, would Dalby succeed in this Wrexham team getting those, perfect crosses into the box for him to head home? I think this situation is a very tough one for Parky. Having read what he said this week, of course, there's been 2 different occasions where he said a decision would be made, but as of this morning, he said a decision still hasn't been made on Sam Dalby, so when we'll know, we really don't know. Finishing off with Jake Bickerstaff. Now, since his loan was extended, Bickerstaff has only featured in 26 minutes of league action for Altrincham, which came in their 2-1 away win at Eastleigh last weekend. Big win for them, and they've got a big one again coming up against Forest Green Rovers on Saturday. So let's hope Bickerstaff can come into the starting 11, hopefully and get that start from the off, and hopefully get a goal under his belt. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Let's hope the next video I can do is providing a video on a player that's officially signed on the dotted line for Wrexham Football Club. Enough of the speculation, enough of the rumours. Like I said, we need a signing through the door. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on Ryan Longman and the possible signing of Michael Smith. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow, because it's a big game against Birmingham City, one that my nerves cannot contain. Let me know your score predictions for that, and I'll see you in the video. Take care, guys. Up the town.